As you know, Avian, you have to talk about Leon. Do you think that Leon is happy in England right now?
I think he likes England. He does like England a lot. Um, you have to understand in England they're speaking English. So it's easier to make friends, easier to go out to dinner, easier to do things. So from a social perspective, I'm sure he loves England. He always wanted to play in England. He always wanted to go to England. That's one of our, as Jamaicans, that's one of the things we want to do. We want to play in the
Mm.
Premier League. Does it mean that he likes the bench? No. Does it mean that he should be off the bench if he doesn't deserve to be off the bench? Absolutely not. If he's not playing well, he should sit on the bench.
Mm.
However, if he is playing well, if he deserves to play, and you put him on the bench, then the job of the manager is to advocate. Yeah? And that's one of the things that I take seriously. A manager must be a zealous advocate for his client. Zealous, zeal, zealots. If you look at the whole history of that word, it means be prepared to go to war for your client. It doesn't mean that you are a busybody or someone that is difficult to get along with. I'm one of the nicest guys you can find around. So long as you keep your part of the bargain, so long as you honor your promises, and so long as my client is getting what he's supposed to get. I've looked at Leon and said to Leon in the past, Brethren, you're not performing, you need to step it up, you need to do this or do that, or stop doing this or stop doing that. Are you eating properly? Are you going to your bed at night? Call and check. You're sleeping? Yes, I'm sleeping. Make sure. You know?
Has he been? Has he been given a reason? Has he spoken to Stevie J?
It's not his job to speak to Steven Gerrard. You understand? Let me tell you something. One of the main things that you don't want to do, you notice how people say Leon Bailey is a nice guy, but Craig Butler, his manager, is a monster?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. But if you go around and you check every single top player in the world, Pogba is a nice guy, but Mina Raiola, God rest his soul, was a monster.
Mm-hmm. So
Cristiano
as the
Ronaldo is
monster,
such a nice guy, but George Mendes, he's such a monster.
so as the monster, Mr. Butler, you're saying
It's
that
our job.
did you speak to Stevie Gerrard?
I spoke to those who I needed to speak to,
Okay.
and I did what I needed to do. But again, we don't want to be difficult with the clubs, and they're going through a difficult time. We're not asking for favors. We're not asking for anything that Leon wouldn't deserve. But the player in his preseason scored goals, assisted goals, and worked his ass off. He went into the games, he scored goals, you put him on the bench, he come off the bench, he scores. You know? He's assisting goals in games,
Mm-hmm.
then it means then that what is the problem? The problem would be our system. And
Yeah,
the
I was just
system that
about to.
Gerrard is using doesn't
I was
use
just about to
wingers.
touch on that. Yeah,
Yeah, so if you
wingless,
don't use wingers,
very
then
narrow.
yeah, if you don't use wingers and Leon is a winger that does well with space, then A, you're going to limit his performance, and B, you may not even use him because you want people that work inside. And that is what is happening, was happening. So, um, I advocated for my client. And he
Okay.
played against Arsenal, played the 90
Yes.
minutes.
Play the 90 minutes. Yeah. Good
And in
game.
that 90 minutes, I watched the game. I think it was a tough game for Aston Villa and a tough game for Leon. But I also believe that he was one of the best players on the pitch. Yeah,
Hmm. He
his
forced
performance was
Ramsdale
good.
into a couple saves.
Yes, he got opportunities, created opportunities. He tried to set players. He took shots. He worked his ass off. But as I said, you know, half of successful teams are not based on tactics. They are based on the team willing to fight for the coach. Ancelotti is not one of the most technical coaches, but he win Champions League, no,
Yeah,
because
true.
the players love him. Yeah,
One
it's,
thing though, Mr. Butler, persons might say, can Leon play in another position to get into this team? Is he versatile enough to play central?
the question is not whether Leon has played attacking midfield for Phoenix as a youth growing up.
Hmm.
He's, as I told you before, we train our players for this very same reason, to play the the 4 lines of attack: center forward, right wing, left wing, and attacking mid. For this very same reason, which I spoke about to you earlier.
Hmm.
But if Leon's aspirations is to be one of the best players in the world, let's just do it in a rough, ugly way. If Pele was made to play center half, right? Would he have been a good center half? Sure. But would he have been the best center half in the world? I don't think so.
Hmm.
So if Leon Bailey's aspirations is to be regarded in history as one of the best players that ever played the game, he has to play in the position that would be for the team, yes, because it's a catch-22 situation, If you say he has to play in the position that is best for him, people will say, oh, well, that's selfish. He needs to play for the team.
Exactly.
But if the best position for him allows him to score and create goals for the team and the team wins, then the best position for him is also what's best for the
For
team.
the team. For the team. Yeah, true.
You understand? But people,
Yeah.
as I say, may have vision but lose sight, because you have to be able to see beyond just what's on the front. Oh, he has to play for the team. He has to learn to play other positions. Okay. But what if when Leon plays right wing, he scores every time? What if when he plays right wing, he gets assists and set up assists, so you beat everybody and you're scoring goals and winning? You want to
Hmm.
stick to that system? I have at Phoenix developed systems that are no longer that are not have not been seen in the world yet. The systems that I use currently have
Hmm.
not been seen in the world as yet. I do not use defenders. There are no defenders in my team. None.
Or is it
You
that you
might
have,
say, Jesus, what is going on?
or is
This
it
man
that
is
you have
mad.
defensive players that are good on the ball?
We are playing our game in the opponent's half, in fact, in the opponent's quarters, and we're pressing as a unit all the way up the pitch. So the only thing, because we're faster than everybody else, I be a 400-meter, 100-meter sprinter in my team. Who can play football?
Hmm.
My first 3 steps is going to be faster than your first 3 steps, offensively and defensively. So you won't be able to get the ball out of that back line. So I don't need traditional defenders that drop off. My defenders are playing halfway up the other half. But why can I do that? Can I do that if I was slow? If I had slow players? Can my players shift from one side of the pitch to the other side if the ball is played in the air fast enough to get it before the opponent can control it? Yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the system that I've created is a Jamaican system built for Usain Bolt if he was a top footballer and a Safa Powell. You understand? That could play football, that were if they were developed in football, right? And you had 11 Usain Bolt on the field. And you shift from left to right. What time is it, boss?
People smash the like button, please. Subscribe if you're new. This is Eddie Vision. I'm here talking to Leon Bailey's handler. It's a Craig Butler, founder and owner of Phoenix All Stars Football Academy.
You see how my thing run? I have a boss, you know. My boss is the wife. My wife come and say, watch a Friday night. Movies, my time.
All right, we still let you go. We still let you go.
Yeah. So
What's the question I'm going to ask? Ajax. Talk to me about Ajax. We heard some early rumors that Leon might make the late switch to Ajax. Any truth in that? What was that about?
Ajax approached, and Ajax and us have had a long-standing relationship, just like we have a long-standing relationship with Genk, with Leverkusen. We're committed to Aston Villa. Yeah. If things don't work out at Aston Villa and if things are not working, and Ajax is an option, which they were, we would take it.
So if a bid came in, you're saying that Leon would be an
But
Ajax
no
player
bid
right now?
can come in because we're committed to Aston Villa. You
Right, I
understand?
hear you. I hear
We
you.
love Ajax, we love Genk, we love Leverkusen. But
Yeah.
Leon is contracted to Aston Villa. He loves his teammates. He loves the club. He lives in the area of Birmingham. He's doing his job. We cannot get up and leave and go to Ajax just because there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We can advocate to fix the problem quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And if the problem isn't fixed over a period of time and we can't reach a mutually beneficial understanding for the player, then of course the player will have to leave and go to another club. He plays football for a living.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he lives. If Leon sits on the bench at Aston Villa and his contract is up, right?
He
Just look
has
at the
2
long term.
years. Is
Look
it
at the
2 years
long
left?
term. If Leon sits on the Aston Villa for 3 years and sits on the bench and doesn't play, do you
The
think that when
value.
his contract is up, they're going to renew it?
No, and his value will
And his
decrease
value will
tremendously.
plummet.
Yep.
So if I, as his manager, advocate and say, make sure he gets to play, because this was what was agreed. If he's fit and he's talented, he needs to play. That's why you brought him there. If I do that,
Do you think
I'm doing it to help Leon.
he'll be playing games under the previous manager, Dean Smith?
Dean Smith loved Leon a lot. It was Dean Smith who brought Leon to
Brought him
Aston
in.
Villa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Gerrard has a lot of respect for Leon and his abilities
But
because
it's just a
when
system.
Leon played for Genk and Gerrard was at Rangers
Rangers.
in the Europa Cup, Leon scored and beat them. When he played for Leverkusen and in the Europa Cup again against Rangers, Leon scored and beat them. So I'm sure Mr. Gerrard will have a lot of respect for Leon. The problem is you as a coach, your system, and maybe it has a little bit to do with just how things are in England, maybe. But I believe that a coach's system should be geared towards the players that he has, not the players geared towards his system. You understand? So if you have wingers, a lot of good wingers, then you need to play wide. If you don't have a lot of good wingers, then you pack it in and you play in the middle. If you have a lot of slow players, yeah, you can't send a lot of through passes because they can't catch it. I went to Real Sociedad and the under 17s. They knock it go all the way down to the opponent goal line and knock it come all the way back. No through passes, right? But why? Because they don't have any fast players. But their technique and quickness is there. Yeah? So teams play systems based on the personnel that they have available. You know? And the better the coach is the more adaptable and willing he is to incorporate the pieces that he has into a unit that works, a system that works. It's not the other way around. If I didn't have fast players, I couldn't play the system I play at Phoenix now. I couldn't.
Sure.
I'm in the middle of a game shouting to a player, "You're not playing center half. Do not back off. You're not playing center half." And the player is already 10 yards above the half line. Why? Because I know if them kick out the ball, he can walk and collect that ball. And the other person can't catch it. I know that he can sustain, we can sustain a press for 90 plus minutes from start to end. People looked at me before and said, you can't press for 90 minutes. Phoenix can.